And before,
Okay.
officer, are you on your own today? Or were you waiting for anyone else? Do you have a union
No.
representative?
No.
Okay, all right, good enough.
It's not about me.
Yeah.
No, but we
Excellent.
didn't know if you were going to
Just
show
wanted
any
to
representatives.
make sure we weren't waiting on anyone
problem.
else today. So, Madam Clerk, if you could, let's call today's meeting into order and
Okay,
get
Ms.
rolling.
Flannery is excused. Mr. Kelly?
Here.
Dr. Kelly. Mr. Burgess, excused. Mr. Silver?
Here.
Ms. Phillips?
Here.
And we also have Ms. Ennis. And officer, I don't have your name, I'm sorry.
Skaggs.
Skaggs.
Yep, Skaggs.
Thank you.
Pardon me for getting up. We don't have our name tags today, so
Oh.
we don't know who we are.
Sorry.
It's not for us, mostly it's for you folks.
Yeah, I can run and get them.
How was your mother's birthday?
Good. Keith, have you had a chance to introduce yourself?
No.
to the officers?
I'm Keith Silver. How are you?
We've already done that.
We took her up to Canoe River Lodge. Lodge at the end of the lake.
Okay, very good. Next agenda item, let's take a look at the minutes from the previous meeting. So if everyone could take a look at the minutes from our last meeting.
And move that we accept the minutes of the last meeting.
Second,
I second.
discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, the minutes are approved without additions. Persons to be heard, none. Special orders, none. So let's move on to old business. Notice of potential violation, 2011. One, and I think at this point we move into out of public session at any rate. Now, this is
This is an executive session, but
is
it's,
this double secret executive session because it's an investigation, right?
it's executive session.
Oh, it's not the deliberation.
It's not
the deliberation.
deliberation.
recorded.
Double
It's recorded,
secret.
yeah.
and then
Shadow
if
government.
there is no violation, then it actually will also be removed.
Okay, so do we have a motion to move into executive session?
We move into
Any
executive
objections?
session.
Hearing no objections, Madam Clerk, let's move into executive session. Please, let's move back into
Recording.
public session. And do we have a motion regarding this investigation for notice of potential violation 2011-1?
I move that notice of potential violation 2011-1 be closed due to lack of evidence for the stated violation.
Second?
I second it.
Discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. All right, the motion passes, and so that investigation is closed.
Okay, now, who are we writing up the?
I'll do the confidential portion.
Next, let's take a look at request for advisory 2011-1.
11-2.
Uh,
Oh, no,
No,
you're right.
I know.
Well, they're basically the same. It's
Yeah.
But let's just
I
do
wish
them
we'd
one
done
at
a
a
different
time.
numbering convention.
Yeah,
Same one.
right. It's-
Okay, but basically this is the one where Dick Traney is asking us whether he, how to handle his.
Exactly.
Oh, your drafter?
Oh,
And you
your draft.
answered the same thing that we did to Patrick Flynn.
Flynn, that's right. I just used
Right.
Flynn. I shouldn't say I used it. Well, I guess I did use it as a
You
template in
used
the
the template.
literal sense. Yeah,
Yes.
right. And so
Well, I noticed the letters were exactly the same. You just copy pasted the names.
I just took
Yeah.
a small chunk out that had more details in it.
So, I guess I move to accept your draft.
Second
I'll second.
discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Let's look at request for advisory opinion 2011-2, which is essentially the same issue.
And this was the Harriet Drummond
This is
one.
the Harriet Drummond one. Do we have a motion regarding this one?
Same motion. I move that we accept your draft for 2011-2.
I'll second.
Discussion.
Actually, I do have a little discussion item. Since we've had 3 requests from 6 members of our assembly, I'm wondering if it wouldn't be prudent to send this to the other members of the assembly,
Yeah, or maybe.
or just a general letter.
Well, then maybe just to draft up a letter just stating how this board has decided to handle these kinds of
Right.
situations. I think I take Dee's point. It's a good point that if we decided, we could start taking on these kinds of issues and trying to offer advice. But again, I think it's best to have the assembly do this, where the assembly person is there and can give a full description and full details about what the possible conflict might be.
Well,
maybe
part of this, they meet, what, every other week or something, a lot more often than we do. And it would really slow up the assembly's actions, even though they're trying to get ahead of their stuff by doing this stuff now, but it would really slow up their other actions if they had to wait for us to do, or we're going to meet a lot more often.
I agree. So so why don't we draw up a letter that we send either to the chair and ask that the chair make this note, or draw up a letter that we're going to send to every assembly person saying, here's a specific issue, and this is how this board is going to be handling it. So we don't keep.
Well, I think that's how the code sets it up too, that's how it will be handled.
Yeah, as per code, and that's what your letter
Yeah.
says, but I just thought, before we get to the other 8 members of the assembly,
Well, the other thing is, we can communicate to Julia Tucker, here at the council.
Okay.
Maybe give her, we could, if you wanted to do it more simply, say, attach please find, would you mind communicating this to the balance of the board members?
I think it's more positive, it comes directly from the board to the members.
Okay.
I mean, ideally, you just take the same letter and change the names.
Okay.
Yeah, I
okay.
think that's-
No,
I
that's
think-
Barbara's recommendation, that's fine.
I think that's right. I think
Okay.
that sounds like the way to go. I mean, the only concern I have is I would hate to handcuff future boards, because it does seem the code does grant the board the discretion to take on these issues, even though final say is with the assembly.
You say about this makeup of the board.
Yeah,
or as a general rule.
Yeah, as a general, and then hopefully we have enough continuity in the board that if this issue does ever come up, someone can say, "Oh yeah, well, a couple of years ago we told them we wouldn't hear about this stuff anymore." But maybe
Yeah,
a
well,
future
I
board will
mean,
change.
now I have continuity.
That's right. Right. So now we're okay. Very good. So, well, let's hang on to that as a separate motion then. And
Okay.
any more discussion about the draft for 2011-2? All right. Hearing no more discussion, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right. That draft passes.
Okay, if you sign them, we'll mail them.
All right. Excellent. Oh, and they're right here. This is great. Why don't we do this right now?
Assume
this.
that there would
This
be a
is-
few changes, if any.
It'll say Hair Dr. Kelly.
That's right. Herr Professor Doctor. All right, excellent.
Okay.
And now, Keith, do you want to make a motion about sending a letter?
Well,
off to-
do you want to move that to new business? Because we got 2 other items here in old business. It's up to you,
Okay.
Chairman, Mr. Chair.
I'm not sure.
You can try.
It's a nice pen. I like that. You know.
The next two
That's
are
okay. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? So, yeah, sure. How about, so let's take a look at the two, I just want to get to your annual reports.
Well, no, I'm just making
Selfish?
sure, knowing Roberts, it is best for us to keep within you were right, that's new business.
Okay, well, but, but it's related to
It could be
this
argued either way, I
request, right?
understand.
That's right. And, well, who makes final decisions about that? Oh, wait a minute. I do. Okay, 2010 annual report. Keith, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes,
Yes.
well, I have not received anything, zilch, 0.
No, not true. You got something from Marissa. She said thanks, and it looked great.
Then I didn't see it. Her email may have bounced back.
I don't
didn't see
have.
it.
I don't have anything to add. Either.
I was
thought it
impressed.
I thought it
I
was
thought it looked good.
great. I think it's good to.
All right, then do we
get-
have a motion to accept? I can't move to accept the meeting, I suppose I could accept the report I wrote, but
I move to accept the report as written. The 2010 annual report.
I second it.
Okay. Discussion. All those in favor of accepting the 2010 annual report, say aye. Aye. Nay. Those against, say nay. All right. The 2010 annual report passes. How about the 2009 annual
Now,
report?
to give you-
Terry, your term has been extended, right? on just the board members identifies you all.
I
So
actually
just to correct that.
forgot about
There
that.
may be some,
Just that
this is actually as the clerk's office provided
Oh,
to
because the
me.
terms are what, 3 years, right?
But to give him credit, Seth was like on his first or second day when he sent that to me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would be, so let's see, I was reappointed,
Well, just
so-
Barbara can probably figure that out.
Yeah,
well,
we'll
so it'd be
figure that
probably
out.
13, right?
Okay. You could accept it with the
One correction.
changes, administrative changes, ministerial changes being made.
Yes, right, it's typographical, right, that's, can't remember what they call that in Congress.
Fix the typos.
That-
Fix the typos.
In 2009, I made no changes to the original draft that was done by the clerk's office. I couldn't find anything that was significant. There may be some changes on the board members and seats and whatnot in the end. But I sort of used it as a template for 2010.
Which I think will be helpful to have it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think,
And most of the, the first 2 or 3 pages come from the author. The rest comes from the clerk's office because of all the numbers and everything else
Right.
are all from them.
I'm trying to think, and Barbara, do you guys know when Greg resigned?
October 14th, 2009.
I don't think it was, though.
I'll double check this.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
he resigned in the middle of the year,
yeah.
I believe.
It seems like it was,
I
no,
believe it
'cause it
was
wasn't.
January 2010.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 meetings after I started.
Yeah.
So it would have been January, February, so.
Yeah, I think I was in
We'll check.
Hawaii when it happened, and so.
You
early
were
2000
gone during a board meeting?
Early 2010. Well, I think he resigned before a board meeting, right? It was in between board meetings that,
Yeah,
I wasn't talking.
before you were in school.
before I was back in school. But aside from that,
And this gets us back into
this gets us caught
Yeah,
up. right?
2010 spends more time talking about the school district, which continues to be an issue for us. When we get into our disclosures, we'll discuss that. And, 9 was, it had different issues.
Mhm.
Does anybody even read these things?
I think so.
Some
He's
members
reading it
are,
right now.
most of some members are very good about reading their packets. They get about every paper a week, and most of them are pretty good.
Okay.
I like looking at all the differences between the years on the forms and see if we were making any difference on people actually filling them out. And it looks like we keep getting more and more. so-
No, but, well, we'll discuss that later. But we need a motion, I think.
I move to accept the 2009 annual report.
With administrative.
With administrative changes, that's what it was.
Second?
Looking for.
Second.
Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. So 2009 annual report has been accepted as well. And Madam Clerk, if you could make a note thanking Keith for the great work, for yeoman's work in getting us caught up. So Keith, thank you. Let's move on to new business. Notice of potential violation 2011-2. And probably move into executive session. I move a motion to move into executive session?
We actually moved to, did we ever move to regular?
Yeah, we've been in regular
Okay,
session for a few
yeah.
minutes.
I lose track of where I am.
I understand.
I make so moved.
Second.
All right, let's move into executive session then. Joint. All right,
Okay,
so
we're
we're
back in
now
open
back in
session.
executive session. Remember not to use any names while we discuss notice of potential violation 2011-2. Do we have a motion regarding this notice of potential violation?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we find a lack of evidence pointing to any violation and send the note back to the complainant.
Okay.
I second it.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And the motion passes.
So that would be a different
Well, we didn't actually accept this one, is what we
Yeah.
did.
That's right, so yeah, so it's not a closure thing
Not a
there,
closure
but I
statement.
think, what does it say? I think you send a letter back or something like that. If only I had some sort of annotated version of this.
Well, how about if you leave that to your board council to figure out, with the assistance of the clerk, we'll figure out how we return this or end it.
Excellent, okay, so let's move on then to 2011, notice of potential violation 2011-3, and let's move into executive session.
Before
Yes.
we move in,
She has to step out, so we
I-
can't take this one
No,
today.
you can't take this one to the forum.
Oh, that's right, yeah, so that's right, you're conflicted out on this one. Okay, so we will, do we have a motion to postpone?
I move to
consideration of-
postpone 2011-3 for our next meeting due to conflict of interest and lack of a quorum.
Actually, we just carry it over on the next agenda. We'll discuss.
Okay, very good. Let's move on to C then and look at the gift disclosure reminder. What is that?
Are you in the, oh,
I,
you have to leave
I
because of the
just-
gift
Is this a
disclosure?
reminder?
No.
it's a reminder, it's what Eric Thompson sent out to the teachers, and I just thought it'd be
Ah,
helpful
oh,
for
okay.
you to
Oh,
see,
good.
for you all to see it, yeah.
oh, this one out to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as a suggestion, Barbara, it could come back and bite you if it gets out and say, this one will give them heartburn.
Oh, right, no, yeah, right.
Just between you and me. I mean, it does. But I'm wondering if somebody might be able to make
Yeah.
hay there.
Oh, I just laughed about it. That was funny.
Well, it did, but then I looked at it and went, oh, you've got to be kidding.
Meeting weeks were always a little tired for days.
Yeah. It was nice to know what DDF was. And we have this twice. For some reason, it was copied twice.
Oh, because probably we came back on Eric's and it was
Yeah.
already in the other pack.
Yeah.
That's
Okay,
why.
very good. So Barbara, has this one been sent off already, the reminder letter?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right then. Any discussion about the reminder letter?
No, I thought it was great
No.
that sent that out.
I don't mind saying that in the future, I would like the letter to stress the section of the code that talks about the gifts not being such that they appear to render the person's impartial judgment as suspect, because that's the problem that we've been having. So, I would sort of like something at this last paragraph, not to just be like, if in any doubt, disclose. I'd also like to say, and here's the standard: you shouldn't look like your judgment's being influenced here, and if you have any doubt, don't accept the gift.
Well, this is why I'd like the school district to make a policy against gifts, which we've already had the meeting with the school district about it, because in this particular case, it does put the teacher in an awkward position when the parent says, well, here's $500 because you helped my kid during the last semester. And the teacher's going, well, I'm really not supposed to accept that.
Right.
And
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, I wish the school board
course,
had
it's
done
kind
it,
of-
but at some point, someone has to. If we think it's unethical to receive some of these gifts, at some point, someone has to.
well, it's like,
Step to
the
the
city
plate to
doesn't
do
do
it.
anything about panhandlers. They cite the people who are actually giving the money, rather than take care of the root cause.
I agree. No, I wish this. But and for the same reason, right? Elected
Yeah.
officials would rather push it off. I think the same thing for the school board, right? They didn't want to deal with the controversy, so they kind of pushed it on to teachers, who are now getting letters from us and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Well, that's something we can talk about in the future. Let's move on to a review of disclosure forms.
Okay, so the gifts, the $500 check is okay?
No.
Oh, hang on, let's start with,
No, we haven't gotten that far yet.
Oh, we
no.
haven't, I'm sorry.
why don't we begin with, let's see what we have. Should we begin with
It's right on the
gift
back of
disclosure? Should we begin with, we don't have a separate agenda item for each one. So let's begin with gift disclosures, and then we'll look at economic interest
Oh, sorry.
disclosures.
I can only look in back orders.
Well, it's
Hey,
actually
Barbara,
on the
while
back
we're
side.
looking at these,
The one we're seeing, the
um,
first one's on the back side of
Is
it.
mine floating around somewhere?
You're what? Your gift?
My potential declaration of potential conflict.
I don't
They
know.
never seem to come
submitted
back
it
to us for us to
before
approve
the
them.
last meeting, so I submitted it over a month ago.
Yeah, as I
Or
said, we haven't,
just about a month ago.
I don't remember seeing mine through either.
I will check.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, gift disclosures. $500 check.
I think that one needs a letter.
Yes.
And you'll see the early email says that students do not receive a grade or credit for this activity, but there's other ways to influence teachers. to do so.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a student at
Yeah.
the school and still.
A lot of the counts on their college budget.
I guess I would have been more comfortable if a $500 check had gone to the PDF Society or whatever it was, to be used for
Yeah, right.
to be used for whatever, the debate group needs. It went to that instead of to the teacher. Now, the teacher may, like to use it that way, but
And teacher, it may be reimbursement for the teacher driving the kids to 5 debates and entrance fees, all sorts of things, but you as a board don't know that.
actually, we had a teacher who was going to come see us today, and
That one teacher wouldn't come on Good Friday.
Katie Benson? Did we schedule for her today?
the one,
Just sometime we need
the
to-
Oh, yeah, no, we need to, I think
$1,700.
Yeah, no, I
Airplane.
remember, but I didn't think it was today. But
It may not have been
I'll
because this
check with
was a
Marissa, 'cause I
special
think she's been
investigation.
in touch with her, so.
Yes, and I was late getting around to it. I called Strickland today and was not able to get in touch with her. So I will continue to remember that was the one who was tutoring the student. We didn't know if it was a private tutoring arrangement or if the student was actually in her class members as she was going to what Grace Christian Academy. So I'll continue to follow up with her and find out that story. So do you want more information on this $500 check, or do we just want to send the letter?
Well, I think it's relatively clear here. We've been over this before as to, we send the letter, but then what? I'm still uncomfortable with ramifications of violating. Yeah, they disclosed, I give them credit for that, but they still accepted a $500 check.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think this one is high enough to, the board should take action, should have them at least come in and answer questions. It's one thing when they're 75 or 100, and then the letter, which I have a copy if anybody wants to see it, that the board has, sends
Oh,
out.
yeah, right.
That sort of gives them fair notice that, geez, we need to be careful here. $500 seems to me to cry out for additional questions at least. Plus, when you have some teachers in here, it'll make a statement to the board that it's not simply a letter. So I think there's teeth just having the
Right.
teacher show up, and then 500 is pretty high.
Oh, so, yeah, it's definitely.
Well, and like I
definitely caught my
said,
interest
and I
on
give the
it.
teacher credit for actually disclosing. I can't, from West. This is one of the first we've had from West.
I don't know if this is the letter we've been sending out.
I can't remember what it said.
It's always kind of interesting to determine what, you have to look at their facts as to where it came from.
I'd be up for that one. I'd be up for having either calling this person for more information and or having them.
I would encourage actually to have, I think we need to have the discussion with them. It's sort of, the teachers I know, just like the university, the same thing. You don't have to slap their hands. All you have to do is talk to them. It gets around to everyone. And we really need to put them. But I think it'd be nice if Eric was here as well.
Well, I think if you ask this person to show up. Eric will show up for sure. And Carol may or may not, I mean, because it's an ongoing issue.
Remember, school ends this week, and so whether people are attending.
But the flip side is it might not be unduly burdensome to
Right.
have them in during the school year. It might,
Mhm.
it might be a problem to try to bring them in, but you're right, it's summer. So, yeah, if you're up for it, let's do it.
Okay.
All right, do we have a motion to call Mr. Gilland in to discuss this gift?
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Okay, motion passes. We'll invite Mr. Gilland to come to our next meeting. Barda, can you do that? Or should I do that? I don't mind doing it, but is that something you usually do?
Generally, the chair has done it.
Okay,
but,
I'll do it. Or I'll tell Marissa to do
Did
it.
I think, Barbara, didn't I have an email string where we tentatively agreed to contact Eric and he would get hold
Right,
of the teacher?
I'm sorry, you're absolutely right. Yeah, so I will let Eric know.
And that way we were respecting the privacy of the teacher as well.
Was that what should happen with the one that he was working on, that other
Well,
situation?
You're asking for
Then a specific question.
just additional questions.
See if
But
there's,
what with he was working, he was the intermediary with Miss Benson.
yeah.
Miss Ben.
Okay, anything else?
Right, on Jason Allen, we've actually asked and answered on this one particularly.
I was gonna say-
They brought this to us.
Right.
We already said no
Yeah.
problem.
That's right.
Well, and I
we were-
think he's just following up on it.
Yeah.
We asked them to disclose.
Yeah.
That was the one thing we asked him to do, and so it just looks like they're following up on that.
There's a few that I think we need to reach the $100 mark that, so I believe we need to send the letter to, but.
Yes.
This one here by Ruth Sterling, however, was done by a vendor as a donation to employee recognition dinner. That was like it's hard to say. It looks to me like it's a
Drawing or something.
just a drawing.
Yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with that one.
But on the other hand, 3 dinners for my family from
That was one of the ones.
Sharona Parish for $120.
Carly liked this one.
Kylie Lake, I thought was,
Needed that one moved.
boy, and the dates are tough. Boy, when you look at the whole totality of the circumstances, man, nothing like giving, nothing like handing over gifts about a month before final grades are due for the year. So it's not even thanks for the last semester. It's thanks for the current semester in which you're starting to tabulate final grades. Ouch. So I'll do a letter there. And again, that's, I don't know if people would accept a gift under that.
The next one's a PTA, so I didn't have any problems with that.
Mhm.
The next one's a teaching gift, or
Teaching
award.
gift from BP, which I had, it's,
I thought that
they're
was
all
great.
they're all competing for that.
Yeah. Sherry Ellers.
$100.
It's from the band, though. Oh, no. It was from a band parent. What does the department MS? Music?
Mirror Lake Middle School.
Ah,
Look at the facts. That's how I didn't figure it out till I look at the facts on the top. It shows the.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, the very top. I still didn't get over there.
This one, I mean, I think we need to go through the letter.
yeah.
The gift card for Evangelos for Deborah LaRue is from 22 students.
It's like $2 each.
That's okay.
It's students. Yes. The fact that they were able to give $80 is good. It's not quite $4 each, but yeah.
Yeah.
Special ed teacher is JV coach. The JV soccer coach is within the limit.
Oh, how about June,
June Park needs a
Yeah.
letter.
Wow.
We're actually getting some schools in here, so something has actually happened, because I'm seeing schools you haven't seen.
That we haven't
Yeah,
seen, right?
yeah.
That's
Well,
true.
they may have got, I mean, they got that
The
letter.
word is getting
Mount
out.
Spur is out on Elmendorf. I went to that elementary school back in Waywind.
Okay, the one, well, it's for $50 and it's for school supplies, so no problems there. $50.
And the drawing,
Choose the drawing, isn't it?
it's a drawing.
Yeah.
There's a prize at a drawing.
Lauren Brady
Yes.
or Bradley.
Yeah, I think that was okay,
I thought that
right?
one was fine.
It's not-
So
Okay,
I think
so-
we've got two of them, I think.
So just to recap, I'll send out, so we're gonna bring Mr. Gilland in, ask him to come in to discuss that one. And then letters for Lake, Ellers, Park, and that's it. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I have a motion to that effect?
I move that we send letters to the three people that you mentioned.
Lake, Ellers, and Park?
Lake Ellers and Park. Invite Mr. Gillen to our next meeting or so, and that's it.
And accept the rest.
And accept the rest. Thank you.
Second.
That's one big motion. Okay, discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Very good, motion passes. Let's take a look at the disclosure of present economic interest forms.
All three of them. So the only thing I see is missing is yours and Robin's.
Okay, well, the first one, Ronald Ward, he is a board member of an entity, SWAPA, that has subcontracts with groups that use the port all the time and have contractual relationships with the port, Horizon Lines. So he's a board member of a contractor that has subcontracts.
Now, when people are appointed for these, not knowing the exact process, because I don't know how Jay Johnson does it, but you give a resume, that much I do know. So they
Mhm.
know this stuff when you're appointed.
I would think so.
And that's
at that point.
just like the board that we dealt with over the Red Nose Inn, those people are appointed because they have knowledge. Almost. So,
Well, maybe the easy thing here is that he's not a board member of a group that has a contract with the port.
Well, that's true, right? It's contracts of contracts, right? So he's got a contract with companies that have contracts. with
regularly
the port.
contract
So
with
there
the
is
port.
at least it's
It's one step.
second generation, right? Second degree of separation.
So could he, as a member of the Port Commission, influence
What does the
But
port-
see, the port doesn't appear to have a contract with SWAPA, or at least that's not clear on this.
what is the main job of the Port Commission?
well, they oversee the port,
Yeah.
just like,
Oversee the
budget and
Okay.
just, when I was at Merrifield, we did that. And there's actually there's quite a bit of business that you have to do. And the port's under a lot of fire right now because
Yeah. But I imagine there's supposed to be some members of the commission that are in the business.
well, yeah, that was just my point was at Merrifield, we had people who were businesses at Merrifield. And they were there, and it was, the code required them to be there. And they were the hard seat to fill because, you know, these people, there's only so many businesses there.
And these positions are appointed by the mayor, confirmed by the
Right.
assembly before they.
And we just have to trust that they use their judgment to.
Well, or that, yeah, I mean, there's not much we can do. I mean, if it looks particularly bad, we have in the past brought people in and talked to them about their situation, their potential conflicts. A couple of years ago, Charles Wolforth was appointed to ML&P, I think, while he was still subcontracting from the mayor's office. So it sort of looked like a serving two masters type situation. We brought him in and we talked to him about it. But aside from talking to him out and asking him about it, there's not much more that we could
Well, and I don't-
that we can really do. Because remember, everyone is still supposed to be satisfying the elements of the code that require impartiality, right? And so you can only tolerate so much conflict of interest before this board at least has to start doing something to try to bring people in, at least to start reminding people, or send letters to the assembly, start
Yeah,
doing
I
something.
think we can do a
you know.
lot. I mean, I think this
Yeah.
board can do more if they
Yeah.
want to, but
This one
obviously
doesn't
this isn't
strike
that
me as
situation.
I don't.
I think
see
if this
any-
person worked for Horizon or something like that, right? I think that was because
Well-
the tugboat.
Well,
We've
then-
accepted these tugboat.
We've got the
folks
next one,
before.
the next one is just as, you know,
the
the same
same.
thing.
That's right. I mean, we have had tugboat pilots in the past send us precisely this thing, and this board has accepted that situation is not too much of a conflict of interest.
Because this is a business, Coconut Tug and Barge, that does business with the port.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in some sense, it's more direct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
what-
mean, the second one is more direct. Or third one.
Okay, so he's the manager of Cook Inlet Tug and Barge, which has
And it's
contracts
owned,
with
and
the port.
it's owned by Saltchuk, which also owns Tote and Inlet Petroleum.
And they are port customers.
Saltchuk's big company. But
Now, wait a minute. Is the Port Authority one of those boards then that's doing like contract work? That's like, in other words, it's making determinations about contracts and like, isn't there special provisions in the code for those kinds of boards?
I think they do have their own legislation, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, Maybe this one would be appropriate to hold over and let me do a little bit of research on that issue.
It's a
On
good
there.
idea. 'Cause I
this
think
one removes 1 degree.
Yeah,
it really is. This
No
one is
separation.
rather direct. Maybe both of them we should hang on to. Just do a little bit more research on this.
I guess I'm just, okay.
okay. And that's now the 4th assignment I've assigned to myself.
Sorry about that.
Well, it's a light summer.
Ah, yeah, right.
At least the Port Commission got all their
Municipal contracts.
Well, that's what's going on.
special appointees in.
I wonder if the mayor had to stand up and defend his decision like he did on my position here.
Or mine.
Well, I mean, seriously, I went that day and there was some concern about one of the former members of this board. Why was she not reappointed?
I can't tell from this whether
It was a 6-5 vote.
Cook Inlet Tug and Barge has contracts with the port. I mean, he's the manager.
Most customers, it's hard to read it, to the Port of Anchorage, locally owned private docks, and the Matsu Port. Would it be that,
Was recently bought by, which is owned by them.
by MRG, which is owned by Saltchuk? Oh, Saltchuk's a, yeah, look it up on the internet, they're huge.
This just seems to say that these entities all are customers of the port. I don't think that's a conflict. necessarily. And my only concern would be whether they're contracting with the port. And then it would be a management issue, management of conflict issue. But all he's disclosed right here is that they're customers of the port. Maybe it's simply a matter of clarifying that.
So, and if so, how do you, I guess the question back to him is how do you plan to manage any conflict that might come up? We're not trying to keep him participating in the port commission, just manages conflicts.
Yeah, right, and then we've got a member of the public appointed to serve on a public body of the municipality or a member of such person's household shall not acquire directly or indirectly an economic interest in a municipal contract or engage in business with the municipality unless the municipal contract is competitive, solicited, and all those requirements of the subsequent. I mean, that's the thing. I think once you're talking about boards that are giving out contracts, then there are these extra things that suddenly kick in that we need to, I think, research a little bit. So, yeah, let's hold this one over.
This would be my recommendation. Normally, or in other situations, their ethics officer, which would be Jay Jackson, would have signed. Sometimes you'll see ethics officers sign off on these forms, and other times you don't. Is that maybe she and I could give him a call and just ask a few of those additional questions. I think it'd be more appropriate that she's involved in that. Find out if there's a contract, and then report it back to the board. If there is a contract, I'll go ahead and do that additional research.
Okay. Thank you, Dee. That would be great.
You're just picking up assignments after assignments.
I know, boy.
Yeah.
boy, this is.
Still have-
Tear this page up before I lose this notebook.
Okay, so do we have a motion to accept?
I move
The
that
case
we
one?
accept the one,
The person who had no conflict to report?
yes, what was-
Case. But
I don't have it in front of me anymore.
I can't tell if it's
do, just
Patricia.
Patrice.
Patrice Case.
Right.
Do we have a second for that?
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, that one's accepted, and we'll look into some of the issues regarding the other ones. Very good. Members' comments?
Well, actually, we do have an item of new business, Mr. Chairman, that we wanted to discuss.
Oh, right.
Now, if I remember what it was.
You see, that's why
Yeah.
we should have done it.
No, that
We were going to write
Yeah,
a
what it was,
letter
or-
to the assembly, right, about
Yes.
this kind of issue. So I'll volunteer to draft that letter. You'll get it a couple hours before our next meeting. I guess I might just be honest. And but I'm willing to do
What are
it.
you
So
gonna
if
do
someone
for the
wants to
next
do
one?
it and get it done earlier, that's
Yeah.
fine with me. Or would someone like to make a motion that Marissa do this?
Well, actually, it would take like 2 paragraphs in addition to your last 2.
Well, I think that's about absolutely
Yeah.
right. So I could probably have it done sooner than that. Maybe that morning,
It's summer.
the night before. It's summertime, right? Absolutely right. Yeah. So, well, at any rate, do we have a motion to draft such a letter to the assembly
Yes.
regarding these kinds of matters?
I so move that you draft a letter for our review to the assembly regarding the handling of conflicts or potential conflicts within the assembly.
I'll second it.
Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Very good. So, whoever you was referring to will write that letter. I think it was Marissa.
You, Mr. Chairman.
It's too late. Where that motion's closed now. Discussion's closed on that, Mr. Silverman. Okay, members' comments.
I have no comment,
I have no comment.
other than to set our next date and meeting.
Okay, yeah, we should probably do that. So let's talk about, we have something from Marissa. Marissa, okay, so let's see, we should be talking about June-ish, right? So how does June? Well, what do people say? What does Marissa say about it? June, she is not available the 16th or the 17th. So we could do earlier that week. Should we continue meeting on the third week of the month? Does that sound like a reasonable
It works
principle
for
to work
me.
with?
She can't meet on the 16th or 17th.
That's right. She is not available.
Are you available on the 15th?
I am available on the 15th.
Because you're, 15th works for me. The reason for that is because it's a Wednesday and I don't have conflict schedules.
Should we perhaps meet on the 16th or the 17th anyway? We're getting, things are proceeding much better when she's not here, don't you think?
On
Well, I
June-
think out of respect for her last few months of
Well, we need a
chairmanship.
quorum too on that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Never mind. Okay. All right, the
15th
15th.
work.
June 15th works.
15th, 3 o'clock?
Okay.
Very good. Okay. June 15th, 3
And you don't have a problem with Wednesdays anymore?
o'clock. No, it's summer, so all my classes are online now, so
How do you do that? Just lots of emails?
lots of emails. The university website has all these discussion boards and things like that. Actually, I just videotaped. That's why I'm wearing a jacket today. I wore not for us. I was videotaping lectures over at school before I came over today. It's pretty darn funny. I look crazy. It's like the angle is like to get me and the screen where my PowerPoint is. I'm at this like bizarre angle. It looks like Citizen Kane or something like that. Okay, so the 15th at 3 o'clock?
Hey, we had talked a couple meetings ago about trying to fix a more consistent
Date.
day of the week, and I really agree with that. It keeps moving.
Well, this is what I would suggest, because I think we're going to keep running into this problem throughout the summer, and at least for the summer. I would recommend, as a general principle, that we commit to meeting the third week of each month.
And how about
At least.
Wednesday in general? But was that a problem?
There's
It's
a
not
problem
for me.
during
It
the
was a
summer.
For
problem
the
for him
semester, it
this
was a
last
problem for
semester.
me
Yeah,
because
but-
I had classes late afternoon, and it'll probably be a problem again, to be honest.
Well, at least if we had
And
3 months of
once
the
the
summer.
fall comes back in, I'll be available on Fridays, but
Mhm.
I'll again have classes, I believe, late afternoon every day except for Friday.
Okay.
You don't have enough seniority to block those classes out.
I don't have seniority to get my job.
But wasn't Tom, he had a problem with, or maybe it was Monday and Fridays were okay if he had enough notice. But I'm thinking it's the third Wednesday.
Well, that's right. I think if we can start, and I think the idea of getting regular again is a good idea because
Yeah.
that way people can start
At least for
creating
the
up their
summer months.
schedules. You know. So do we want to say the third Wednesday of every? Well, let's go back to Marissa's letter. She might not be
Available
available.
July 20th?
Let's see, July 20th. Ooh, she is.
Okay, that would be the third Wednesday.
Let's punch that in. And then
August 17th? Are you back in school then?
that should work. Now, I think we go back the following week. I think we go back to next. So we can tentatively say the 17th. You probably won't even need me by then.
Well, Mr. Chairman, you're chairman in training, so.
Now, I want to know, do we have Tom's telephone number right now?
It
sure? I
was
thought
in
we
that
just had-
contact list we just.
Yeah, didn't we just see
Marissa
a
sent us
contact
out
list?
to everyone, but I don't know if she sent it to you.
Okay.
Did she send it
Oh,
to you,
yeah,
Barbara?
actually she did. I just
Yeah.
don't have it with me, but I just wonder if we called him real quick because I don't know if Wednesdays were problematic for him. Because wasn't he here for, I can't say the name, the one
now the-
potential violation? Wasn't he here for the first interview?
Yeah, I think now the biggest issues for him are emergencies.
Okay.
So you're thinking August 17th?
That's right.
And then by then we'll know what your schedule's like for September. Theoretically.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And so, search for contact list comes up with a lot of things. Let's see. But who would have been from? Barb, did you send it out or did?
No, Marissa did. Did you change the last one? She said she changed the zip code. I saw it this morning.
She had my zip code wrong and had her zip code wrong.
I'm sorry. So who sent the last one?
Marissa.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, that's going to make it easier.
But it was nice to get. Go back and changed everybody's. He brings the whole computer. We just bring our mini little computer.
I know.
Oh, you guys are lucky though. My wife has one of them. I'm insanely jealous.
What's cool is like, so I just add myself so it shows up in my work calendar as well, because I don't have an ability to have both.
Okay, so let's see.
As part of my job, I had to be hooked up, and you can see I don't even carry it with me.
Well, I noticed how's that iPad working out for you?
I'm just getting used to it as a birthday present. And,
Oh, I love iPads.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Is it
But-
the iPad too?
Yeah,
So you can have video conference.
yeah, FaceTime. It's fun. And, yeah.
I'm hoping that Microsoft doesn't want to start charging for video. I've been using.
Do you have your phone fired up?
Now they've purchased Skype,
Mm-hmm.
because I've been
You
using
ready? He
Skype
is
for video all the
243
time.
Just
I
send
talk to a guy in DC almost every day.
243.
4641.
Now, why isn't he here today before I call?
He had more important things to do. You're gonna get his home number. That's 243.
243, yeah.
Should we try business first?
Yeah.
I suppose it's business. Okay, try this one. Ready? 632 0132.
632.
This is the most
Oh.
fun thing.
132.
There's all these
correct.
different cameras. There's a thermal camera. There's
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's fun
Yeah.
because I do that on iChat. You play with those cameras when
iChat.
and see if the people on the other end notice it. iChat is it's an Apple thing, and you can just like using Skype, except it's Mac, it's Apple. Yeah, it's fun to play with.
Hello, Mr. Burgess. This is Hair Professor
Oh, gosh,
Dr.
yeah, I get to
Terrence
see that all
Kelly,
the time.
chairperson of the
Yeah.
Board of Anchorage, Board of Ethics of Anchorage. We have some concerns about your future behavior and availability for meetings in July and August. We're planning on trying to meet on the third Wednesday of June, July, and August. That would be August 17th, July 20th, and June 15th. If you could call or email myself or Barbara and let me or her know if you are available for those dates, the board would appreciate it. Thank you, sir. All right. Very good.
the hand didn't reach out and grab you and say, I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.